Okay, and we are live. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with another live stream, 7:35 p.m. Monday evening, coming to you from Madrid, Spain, Spain's capital, of course, at least for the time being. And we'll go through some of the news that has caught my attention in the press today. Also, some articles that have caught my attention recently. And we'll go into the comment section and check out what is happening there also. Lots of comments have been left on the channel recently, so I'll try and get through some of those. And then in the second half of today's live stream, into the chat section here to my right, and we'll see what's going on there. Lots of debate in the chat section, hopefully. Now, before I begin, the like icon is on the screen. If you haven't hit the like icon yet, please do so. Just below the video, we'll see if we can get up to a decent tally of likes today during the live stream, because as you guys know, likes keep me motivated. So, straight into the news we go. And the first piece of news related to remote working, teleworking, as they call it here in Spain, teletrabajo, and not really taking off. As we can see here, teleworking fails in Spain. Legal uncertainty puts Spain at the bottom of Europe. Teleworking, the work trend that came with COVID, is going out of fashion, at least among Spaniards. In a country where the number of teleworkers reached 3.5 million in the wake of the pandemic, 3 years later it is down by almost half to 2.56 million, its lowest rate since June 2020, while in other European countries the rate even exceeds pre-COVID levels. However, it does not seem to be because the majority of Spaniards reject the home office. 84% of the Spanish population would like to telework, the third highest figure in the EU, behind only Finland and Sweden, according to a report published by the National Observatory of Technology and Society, part of the Ministry of Economic Affairs. The reason then? Hasty and not entirely well thought out legislation may be to blame. So teleworking or remote working, working from home, did take off during the pandemic. Of course, people had no choice but to work from home. Experts thought that trend was going to continue, but of course the government decided to step in and regulate working from home, putting in certain laws that had to be upheld by both companies and workers when it comes to electricity bills and things like that, internet connections, small things like that, and of course a lot of companies deciding that it's just a bit too hard and getting workers back into the office. My personal experience, obviously I don't work for a company, I work for myself and do work from home, so I have no problems with the issue. And I enjoy working from home, I'm going to be honest. But other people that I know, working from home maybe 2 days a week maximum, 3 days a week at the office, 2 days from home, because I think if you work for under a certain amount of hours per week from home, you are not included in this regulation. I think that's the way it works. So as I said, a lot of people sort of got a bit of a split, but in the majority of cases working more time in the office than from home. And as we saw in that article, they're down from 3.5 million after the pandemic down to 2.56 million people now. So not really taking off, and more and more people going back to the office as we move on. Now, the second piece of news today we'll look at relates to solar energy here in Spain. And Spain apparently has always had everything needed to become the great solar power, and at last it seems to be delivering. Spain stands out on the photovoltaic map. The International Energy Agency, the IEA, and the Photovoltaic Power Systems Program have just published their annual report on the global market, a detailed snapshot showing its trends and drifts through to 2022, and in a scenario of growth in which 240 gigawatts of new installed systems were registered and the global photovoltaic base increased to reach 1.185 gigawatts of accumulated capacity, Spain occupies a relevant place because of the potential gained and above all for penetration. And if we have a look at some of the countries around the world that are really embracing solar power, we can see here the top 10 countries for installations and total installed capacity in 2022. China way out on top, 106 gigawatts of power there. European Union in second place, the USA third, India, Brazil And there we see Spain with 8.1. And when it comes to cumulative capacity, China again out on top. USA coming in equal second there with the United States. Not really sure, obviously the European Union, not a country, but coming in there second USA. Japan, India, Germany and Australia with 30, followed by Spain 26.6. So when it comes to solar energy, as we saw here, everything always needed to become the great solar power, and finally it seems to be delivering. Because as we know, there was a time in Spain where the government decided to put a tax on the sun, believe it or not, a tax on the sun, where if you had solar panels on your roof, you had to pay a tax, basically. So there was no incentive for people to put solar on their roofs. But since COVID and all of this money coming into the European Union, into Spain from the European Union, one of the big focuses of the government has been to encourage people to put solar panels on their roofs. I've seen a boom here where I live. Lots of people have decided to get in on the subsidies, get discounts on their housing tax every year if they do go solar. And as I said, it's a booming business here currently, and all the potential, of course. Sun, sun, sun. Third piece of news is this one here about tipping, one of my favourite topics. Some restaurants now include the option to add a fixed percentage on the ticket for a tip or the bill for a tip. We don't often admit it, but Spaniards are not among the biggest tippers in restaurants. According to a study by Alpha Research, only 11% of Spaniards say that they always give an extra when they pay, while 17% admit they never give or they never tip. One of the most common excuses people use for not tipping the waiter is that they don't have any cash on them. It is precisely since the pandemic that real money transactions have been reduced and card payments have increased. There are already some restaurants that offer the possibility of adding an extra percentage to the same bill. This is the case, for example, at the La Barra restaurant group in Barcelona. In the bill that the customer receives at the end of the meal, there are three options: not to add any tip, to add 5%, or to add 10% of the total bill. This amount is then incorporated into the card payment. So Spaniards not really dipping into their pockets when it comes to tipping. Only 11% say that they always give a tip. 17% admit they never give a tip. So a bit stingy. But restaurants now putting it on the bill directly. And as a result of COVID, of course, when people stopped using cash there for a while, that trend has continued. More and more people using their card, tapping and going, beep, 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 and not leaving tips because they don't have any cash on them. Now, I'm not a huge tipper, but I do like to give a tip, ranging anywhere from 50 cents to €2, depending on the service quality, the type of meal that we had, and the price of the bill. But as we saw there, not a common trend here in Spain. You quite often see the little plate that the waiter leaves empty at the end of a meal or at the end of a drink in many bars and restaurants because people, as I said, are not used to tipping. So what are restaurants doing? Adding it to the bill, giving people the choice, 0, 5% or 10%, as that restaurant is doing there in Barcelona. And I have seen this in Madrid as well, adding on the gratuity, I think it's called, or some type of a tip automatically onto the bill. Let me know what you think. Is it a good idea or not? And do you think this trend will catch on even more here in Spain? And if you've seen it already, let me know in that chat section or comment section. Now, we'll go into the comments now. Before I do, I'll put the like icon on the screen. If you haven't hit it yet, please do so. Just below the video, you will find the like button. Whether you are on Facebook or YouTube today, currently like 59 has been registered. Maybe you will be like 60, 61 or 62. So hit that like button, please. First comment of the day, this one here from Scolopente. It's easy to reduce unemployment. You just need to change the way you record the numbers. Sounds easy, right? Spain has high unemployment, 13%, I think. One of the highest in the European Union, and it's been a problem in Spain for a long time. But according to this commenter here, Scolopente, you just change the way you record the numbers. Bang, and away you go. You bring unemployment down overnight. I don't think it's that easy, unfortunately, and I'm sure Spain would have worked out that trick in the past if it was possible. But unemployment, as we know, a problem here. But it's always curious to see other unemployment figures around the world, for example, Australia, and do they use the same way to judge unemployment? That's the question I always ask myself. Is it the same in the US? Is it the same here in Spain? Is it the same in the UK? Is it the same in other European countries? Is there a standard when it comes to measuring unemployment? Don't know. But with the current rate, as I said, 30% youth unemployment, 13% general unemployment, it looks as though Spain needs to do something to change the way they record the numbers. Don't know. Let us know what you think also. Another comment here from Nordcap. Best to construct 3 pipelines, one for water to Spain, one for olive oil to Ireland, and the final one for wine to Ireland. Yeah, there we go. That's another interesting idea. I'm sure that it could work. We get water sent down here to Spain from Ireland to help ease the drought, and in return we send wine and olive oil back to Ireland. Yeah, fantastic idea. Thanks for putting that one forward. I'll pass that on to the one of the ministries here who's in charge of that. Sounds like a good idea. In exchange for water, oil and wine. There we go. Great idea. Another one here from Catfish. Hello from the Pyrenees. We too are very concerned with the lack of water everywhere in Spain and wonder if the government has ever considered constructing a pipeline from the north of the dry area in the south. Thanks for your channel. Well, I don't know whether they've ever thought about a pipeline per se, but they have a system here which is called water transfers, Transvase, I think they call them. There's one famous one that takes water down to the Alicante-Murcia region from Guadalajara, called the Trasvase de Segura, and there's 15 or 16 of these around the country as well. And there is, I think it was back in 2001, a plan for Spain's water issues was drawn up. Back in 2001, I think it was called, I can't remember the name, but it had a fairly fancy name. But apparently a lot of the ideas in this plan never saw the light of day because they were too politically controversial, and people took to the streets to complain. Basically, one of the ideas that they had was to take water from the Ebro River into the Barcelona metropolitan area. That didn't see the light of day, I don't think, because people in the Ebro Delta region complained about that, didn't like that idea. And there are also other plans that never came into effect, basically. But there are, as I said, 15 of these water transfers around the country. But it is a little bit controversial from an ecological point of view and also from a citizen point of view as well. People, as I said, take to the streets and complain, and not popular politically, and very difficult to get some things done currently in Spain with the 17 autonomous communities. Not easy. If the central government has a plan, which this one was, not easy to get those 17 autonomous communities on board. But something needs to be done, and as we saw yesterday, the European Union is looking at ways to fix water issues in the south of Europe, not only here in Spain, but also Italy, Greece, Portugal, other parts of the European Union where it is dry. So thanks for the comment there. Another one here from Tatiana. I'm disappointed in Springsteen and Spielberg, but maybe they're getting demented. Yeah, not sure what Tatiana's gripe is here with Bruce Springsteen and Steven Spielberg, who recently dined at a Barcelona restaurant with Barack Obama. Maybe that's what Tatiana's talking about, not an Obama fan, and saying why did Springsteen and Spielberg dine there. Not sure, but Bruce Springsteen was playing a concert, I think 2 concerts in Barcelona, I think, to kick off his European tour, and the Spanish press is raving about these concerts, absolutely raving about the concerts. Some of the greatest concerts that have been seen in Barcelona for a while, if you read the Spanish press. Of course, I didn't go. Didn't decide to come to Madrid, Bruce. Not sure why. I think because of a lack of a decent concert venue here. Could be one of the reasons. And Spielberg was there as well. And another person that attended Bruce's second concert in Barcelona was none other. Let me try and get that one out. None other than Tom Hanks, the Oscar-winning actor, of course. So he was there for the second concert. Obama, Spielberg there for the first. So some VIPs gracing Barcelona over the last couple of days for those Bruce Springsteen concerts. But again, don't really understand Tatiana's issue with it. But anyway, another one here from Malcolm. Hi, Stu. Had a violent storm here last night in Totana, Murcia. Had no electric for 3 hours, but much needed rain at last. Absolutely, Malcolm. Down there in Totana, Murcia, close to the, well, it's not on the coast, Totana. I stopped there recently when I went to Murcia. Not the last time I went, a couple of years ago, I think, or maybe last year when I went to Almeria. We stopped in Totana, so I know the area. And good to see that you got some rain, but of course it came at the expense of the electricity, which was off for 3 hours. So a heavy storm there, but desperately needed in that part of the world because it is one of the driest parts of Spain. And as we know, with the water issues, with the water transfer system there, desperately needed any type of rain in the Murcia region. So thanks, Malcolm, for that comment. And the final comment today, this one here from Paolo. We live in Florida and are undecided as to which coast of Spain to move to. We were just told that someone from Barcelona that the Costa del Sol has a good amount of underreported crime and drugs as a result of its proximity to Morocco. Any opinion on crime in Costa del Sol, please? Well, I don't have any statistics there, Paolo, but I'm sure that there's crime in every major city here in Spain. Whether it's more or less, I don't know. Barcelona, of course, is famous for its pickpockets and bag snatchers and other types of petty crime like that. Madrid also has an issue with this type of crime. People getting their bags stolen if you leave them unattended in a bar, for example. Maybe you might get your expensive watch snatched off your wrist, telephone snatched out of your hand. All of those crimes exist no matter where you are here in Spain. If you are in a big city, of course. The higher the level of tourism, the more the crime, I believe. But when it comes to the issue there of being close to Morocco, I don't know whether that influences the crime or not. I think it does when it comes to drug trafficking, because some parts of Cadiz, of course, the Moroccan hashish comes into those parts of Cadiz, for example, around the Campo the Gibraltar area. Not talking about the Rock of Gibraltar, but the surrounding areas there are known for its drug trafficking trade, the boats that bring the drugs into the country. And then, of course, there's a secondary effect of that when it comes to the money aspect as well. But anybody on the Costa del Sol watching today, please let us know what the crime situation is. I think if you're not involved in it, you might not be affected directly. I would like to think that is the case. I mean, I've been to some parts of Malaga and I've never really seen a problem, but then again, I don't live there. But one of the main differences, I would say, coming from the United States, obviously, is that, I'm sure there's no gun culture per se, which probably would make it a little bit safer. Even though criminals might have guns, the general population don't carry guns, so that could be another thing to keep in mind as well. Although, again, I'm not sure what it's like in Florida, but Miami, I'm sure that there's also a drug trade there and also criminal activity. So, it happens everywhere, but if you're not involved in it, theoretically, shouldn't affect you. But then again, let me know in the chat section what your opinion is on the matter. Now, we'll go into the chat section now and check out what is happening. We might get a bit of feedback from our Costa del Sol or Malaga residents. The like icon's going back on the screen one more time. If you haven't hit it yet, please do so. We're nearly up to 100, so you could be like number 100, 90 currently. And I'm going to change the backdrop too. So I'll change the backdrop here. Now, this one was sent in from Jim, and it was a sandstorm. I was going to say snowstorm, but it's a sandstorm down there in Torrevieja, or Torrevieja, I think it is. down there in Alicante. And a nice pic sent in from Jim. So thanks for that one, Jim. Nice colours. If you've got a similar picture to send in, or a picture of Spain, anything, spainspeaks@gmail.com is the email address. And any queries or news, interesting news that you've seen as well, you want to send it through, feel free to send it to that email address. Now, into the chat section I go. Let's have a look. Let me scroll up to the top. Firstly, there's a super chat from Philip, so I'll put that one on the screen. Thank you very much, Philip. Buenas tardes desde un Sussex soleado, sunny Sussex. Here's a little something to celebrate the arrival of May. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for Malaga Football Club tonight against Huesca. I'd hate to see Malaga drop. Are they at almost down in relegation zone? Are they in the relegation zone, Philip? I didn't know. Dropping down maybe to, what is it, second division B or something, is it? I don't think they're in La Liga anymore, Malaga, but it would be a shame if they did drop. Thanks for that, and also thanks for the £10 super chat. Greatly appreciated, and a good start to the month. And, of course, public holiday today, May Day, the Dia del Trabajador here in Spain, as they call it. Thanks for that, Philip. Mugga is in the chat as well, coming in from El Campello. Currently a delightful 22 degrees Celsius down there. Fantastic, Mugga. Good to see that you are enjoying it. One of your photos coming up shortly, so stay tuned. James coming in also from Torrevieja. I'm not sure if this is James's photo. It could be. Ladies, La Vuelta kicked off today with a 14.5 kilometre time trial in Torrevieja. Helicopters flying over all afternoon. There we go. La Vuelta, the ladies' La Vuelta kicking off today. Not sure when the men's Vuelta de España is. Maybe later in the year, I think. Daryl's in the chat section as well. City fan. Hoping for a rainy summer. I think a few drops have been experienced recently in Barcelona. Not as heavy was the rain there as it was in Totana, as we saw from Malcolm's comment. But thanks, Daryl, for that. Good to see you here. Glee Smee, taxation is a form of theft. There we go. Big statement there today. What else we got going on here? Let's have a look here. Protests in Barcelona, obviously May Day protests, 1st of May, Dia del Trabajador, Daryl. Only around 2,000 people showing up. Yeah. Don't know whether the unions have the same power as they used to have in this country. It depends on who's in government, I think, normally, when it comes to general strikes and things like that. But, yeah, not too many people supporting the unions today in Barcelona, apparently. Not sure what the situation was in Madrid. But, yeah, 1st of May, normally when the unions take to the streets. Let's have a look what's going on here. Sani's in the chat section as well. May bank holiday. Hoping everyone has enjoyed it. Yes, Sani. I was enjoying it. Andrew also in the chat, coming in from a pleasantly bright southeast London, hoping we are well. Thank you very much, Andrew. Hoping you're well too. William, 10 degrees from Glasgow, like number 10. So William got in early with the like today. Good to see. Thanks, William, for that, for hitting that like button. Pauline coming in from Rojales, currently a sunny 22 degrees. Nice Mediterranean weather. Barbara coming in from Playa Flamenca, 21 degrees there. Similar. Erica coming in from a cooler Terrassa. We might still have some rain this evening. Who knows? Absolutely. No rain forecast for Madrid, I don't think. Renan coming in from LA, Los Angeles. Hello, hope you're well. Grant, a.k.a. Old Guy Doing Stuff, coming in from a sunny Sierra, up there in Asturias, one of my favourite parts of Spain. Don't think I'll be getting to Asturias this year, although I do have a trip planned to the north soon, but not Asturias. Alan coming in from a grey San Diego. Hello, Alan. Hope all is well there. Hope all is going well with you. Stephen coming in from a mild Enfield, North London, 15 degrees Celsius there. Back home after a week in Torrevieja where the weather was great, but hope they get some much-needed rain there soon. Absolutely, Stephen. A lot of places around the country with fingers crossed, hoping that the rainy season does arrive. Richard also coming in from the UK. A dull North Yorkshire, albeit a bit milder, but hardly any sun. Typical bank holiday weather. There we go, from that part of the United Kingdom. A bit grey. I was talking to somebody the other day who originates from Manchester and been living out in Spain here for a long time and has never been back, which was a curious fact. Never been back to Manchester in a long time, and was telling me about the grey Manchester days. So similar up there, I think, in Yorkshire. Elaine coming in from sunny Chatham, New Jersey. Taxes in Australia are brutal. Taylor Gooch won $4 million at the Live Golf in Adelaide and had 47.5% taken out for Australian taxes. Yes. Yeah, I don't know whether that's the general tax rate down there for golf winnings. Took away $4 million, left Australia with around 2, according to that. So, but I wouldn't mind 2 million euros in the pocket. In the Live Golf tournament that was recently in Adelaide, the controversial Live tournament. Yes, it was a fairly big event, I think. Ed coming in, another regular viewer. Ed coming in from Barcelona, having a good May Day. Thank you, Ed. I am indeed. David also coming in. Why don't we use seawater in our toilets? I saw this comment the other day on the channel, David. Most of our water goes through the toilet, so why don't we use seawater? Don't know. I'm sure there is a reason why it hasn't been used. Not sure exactly what it would be. But if anybody has an answer, let us know. Blind Spots Traveller coming in from Cuzco, Madrid. Bang there. Well, not really the centre of Madrid, more centre north, but a nice part of the country. I used to live close to Cuzco. D coming in from Oliva. Another regular viewer is D. Hope all is well, D, down there in Valencia. What else? Remy with a Y coming in. Great day today. Finally got some good rain. There we go. So wet in Remy's part of Spain. Good to see. John only drinks bottled water in Malaga. Is that odd? What do the Spanish drink? The tap water isn't great, although possibly won't kill me. Not sure, John. I think bottled water is the norm in Malaga. I remember, I think I've mentioned this, but my partner's family had a holiday home in a place called Rincón de la Victoria, which is east of Malaga, and they always drank tap water. Bottled water. The tap water, of course, I don't think it'll kill you. It's just a question of taste. But bottled water was always present in their home. And I think, judging by the amount of people I saw once at the supermarket taking bottled water home, I think that is the trend, at least in that part of Malaga. But any Malaga residents, let us know what you do when it comes to water, bottled or tap for drinking. Or maybe some type of filter on the tap or something like that. Don't know. Diffie saying, why is the unemployment rate in Spain over 13%? That seems absurd. Yeah, not sure, Diffie, but 6 or 7 years ago it was 25%. So 13 seems good compared to 25. And youth unemployment around 30. Spain's always had a problem with its unemployment rate for some reason. I don't know exactly why. Various experts have given their opinion on the matter over the years, but no government has been able to bring it down, except I think 15 years ago we saw yesterday. Somebody brought it down below 10, but that was because of a housing boom. Everybody was working in construction for unrealistic salaries, and as soon as that real estate bubble burst, boom, it went up to 25% very, very quickly. So it's not easy to understand the Spanish the Spanish employment system. Mark coming in from Pollença in Mallorca. Beautiful part of Mallorca is Pollença. Hello, Mark. Hope you're well. Another Mallorca viewer here, Rory from Palma, on the other side of the island, I think. Zane's in the chat, our New Zealand correspondent, up bright and early as usual. Almost 100% of New Zealand's power is renewable. Solar is the least efficient and cost-effective. There we go. Heading down that path here in Spain, Zane. with solar. Thanks for the input there. Nearly 100%, almost 100% of New Zealand's power is renewable. There we go, leading the way. Angela and John coming in from Menorca, finally had a little rain with thunder today, but nowhere near enough. Seems to be the general trend. Absolutely. Not enough. Gleesme, I have solar panels and a Tesla battery wall at home in California. Monthly electricity bill is usually negative. That is, the power company gives me a credit. There we go. So solar there also, Gleesme. Gigi's in the chat here. A while ago, someone criticised me for reading the articles that you are posting and discussing. I appreciate you reading them since I am often in my car when I watch and listen to your videos. Thanks. Yeah, well, I've been reading them now for about 4 years. So I think it's the easy thing to do. People can read for themselves, but what do you do when they're on the screen? Do you just sit there and wait with no sound? Other people do the same thing, Gigi, so there's nothing unusual to what I do, but as we know, people have a keyboard in front of them and they like to complain. No worries. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but it won't make me change the format because the format seems to work. Why change it? Lumpfish, always attempt to pay in cash. There we go. Not a fan of credit cards or debit cards or tap and go with your phone, which is becoming very common nowadays. Just that tap and going with your phone. Use cash, says Lumpfish. Gigi also says that the solar panels on the roof, we sell the extra power back and receive monthly payments. Yeah, that's the logical thing to do, Gigi. But as I said, here in Spain, that wasn't possible there for a while. Do I think they left a good tip? I don't think they paid for the meal, to be honest. I was having the conversation with somebody about this exact topic, Elaine, and I think the person that made the reservation for the booking for them at the restaurant, the chef Jose Andres, I'm sure he would have said to the owner of the restaurant, "Listen, send me the bill. These guys are on me." I think that's what would have happened. I don't think you'd walk up to the table with Springsteen, Obama and Spielberg and place the bill down. I don't know. Maybe they left a tip, got no idea, service tip. But I think Jose Andres, not the Spanish custom is to do that. If you organise a restaurant for someone, I'm sure Jose Andres can afford it, picked up the bill and doing some favours for some important people, no doubt. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know exactly, but having seen how other people have, done similar things in Spain, when you see somebody in a restaurant sometimes, you invite them to a drink or you invite them for, to a cup of coffee or whatever, and I'm sure Jose Andres probably paid the bill. But don't know for sure. Blind Spot saying, my advice, never add a tip to the credit card or debit card payment. It never goes to the staff. Just goes to the owner-operator of the restaurant. There we go. That could also be an issue. But I would like to think that the owners of the establishment were upfront with the workers and sharing those tips or giving all of the tips to the workers. I'd like to think that. But you might be right, Blind Spots. We're up to 33, so I'm going to change the backdrop in a minute. Kevin coming in from Martos down there in Jaén. I'll change the backdrop now. This one is Mugger's picture from El Campello. We can see it on the screen here. A nice beach shot Mugger sent through with a lady sitting down there in the corner. Watching what's going on. I think there's a beach volleyball game happening on the beach. But a nice spot there also, El Campello, where Mugger spends their time. Owen. Now, I'll just put the email address on the screen, spainspeaks@gmail.com. Send them through if you've got a similar shot to Owen's here, a.k.a. Mugger. Send it through. Or the one that we saw before, which was also an interesting shot of the sandstorm at the harbour down there in Torrevieja. Send them through. That is the address. Like icon on the screen too. If you haven't hit it yet, please do so. We're up to 133. Decent tally. We'll see if we can get 150 by the time I bring the live stream to an end. Around 7-8 minutes time. as I have to go out tonight. What else? Let's have a look. One way to reduce unemployment in Spain is the new contract system of fijos discontinuos. Yeah, Erica, it might be, but I think I read something recently that people are still considered unemployed. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but people go off contracts when they're not working. So I don't know whether it's your case there on your contract, Erica, or whether you were before on a yearly contract or a temporary or permanent contract. Not sure, but I know a lot of English teachers, for example, are on 9-month contracts. And what happened before was that you'd get the old finiquito, and you'd spend 3 months unemployed on the unemployment benefits or whatever, maybe doing some summer work or something like that, and then you'd try and find another job come September, October when work picks up again. But now with the fijo discontinuo, the only difference is that the company is obliged to hire the same worker. So the worker is, although not working and not earning a salary for those 3 months that they're off, out of the academy or not working, the company is obliged to hire the same people again. I think that's one of the main differences between the old system and the new system. What else? Let's have a look here quickly. Here we go. Remy pointing out that in Australia they even count people who are looking for work as unemployed, or even if you work 5 hours a week, that's why their numbers are so low. That could be one of the differences, absolutely. But again, why don't they do the same thing here? Don't know. Antonio always gives a tip, 10% apparently. There we go. Thanks for that, Antonio. Let's have a look. Ed thinks it's a great idea to give the option of paying a tip to the waiters on the bill. Waiters are paid little enough and deserve every cent. I'm sure a lot of people think the same. Absolutely. Richard coming in with a comment here. There's a fantastic sherry bar in Malaga City, Antigua Casa de Guardia. Still, they chalk your bill up on the bar and ring a bell if you tip. The waiters a real experience. Fantastic. Great. Lumpfish. When I worked in North Korea, we had no unemployment, and as we killed the unemployed. Yeah, that's obviously a joke. Let's have a look. Let's have a look here quickly. Also, Polar Movies. Spain gets gas in pipes from Africa. There is water below the S. Yeah, that's true. And gas gets piped into Spain from Morocco currently. Before it was Algeria. Now it's Morocco. They just changed the supplier because of political reasons, I think, last year. Any advice on moving to Alicante? I can't give you any because I don't live in Alicante, but there are plenty of people in the Valencian community watching, so feel free to help live life out. Spain has a much lower level of crime than Florida. Yeah, I thought that would be the case, although I'm not an expert on crime rates in United States, but I've always found Spain to be a safe country no matter where I've gone. Malaga, walked around the streets. Yeah, you see people begging and asking for money sometimes, maybe you get the odd pickpocket every now and again. Maybe every now and again there is a more serious type of crime, but in general, I find both Spain and Portugal to be very, very safe countries, but that's just my experience. Let's have a look. Yeah, probably, Rory, that most street crime is avoidable, but of course it's the same all over the world. You can avoid street crime if you keep your wits about you, keep out of the wrong places at the wrong time. Hopefully nothing will go wrong, but of course a lot of people fall victims to street crime frequently when they're on holidays because, you let your hair down, you relax, you're in unfamiliar surroundings and you don't really know what's going on and people can take advantage of you. It's like if you go to the beach in Barcelona and leave your backpack on the beach, there's a fairly high chance that somebody's going to nick it. Andrew says, always gives a propina or a tip, but I pay my bill by card and give the waiter cash, usually between 5 and 12%, depending on how good the service and food has been. Thank you very much for that. Great. Jose Antonio's in the chat as well. A bit late today, no problems. Long weekend here in Spain, longer for me. Yeah, long weekend, absolutely. In Madrid, an extra day tomorrow as well. Great. Martin also coming in. Martin would like to thank Lorna for mentioning the restaurant Manolo in Benalmádena. We live in Alora and were in the area, so tried it out and thoroughly enjoyed the menú del día. There we go. The community experience here. Thank you very much for that, Martin, for your input there and your feedback on the restaurant. Great. Lots of rain, according to Dee, yesterday in Oliva. Raining cats and dogs. Grant saying that the reservoirs in Asturias are not that full, and neither are they in Galicia nor the País Vasco, and they won't be getting water from the north, I don't think. So no water coming from the north to the south there, as the reservoirs are not full. Yusuf also here, a tapper a day keeps the doctor away, and walking as well, absolutely. David coming in from Murcia. It's been a rather hot day down there, apparently. 123 Sean away. Why protest when the unions have the holiday they want? No pleasing some people. Making workers protest on a workers' holiday is a bit ironic if the protesters actually work. Yeah, well, here it's today, as I said, the unions like to get their members out into the streets and protest in some of the biggest cities around the country. I think Barcelona was mentioned before. In Madrid, there's normally a protest or two. Not a violent protest, just, people chanting slogans, hoping that their workers' rights are, followed, I think, and obviously hoping that those rights don't disappear. The unions not wanting that to happen, of course. What else? Let's have a look. Marianne's in the chat as well. Anthony's coming in from La Metilla de Mar, I think. Just sent a new backdrop photo. I'll check that one out, Anthony. Thanks very much for that. Let's have a look here quickly. Paul coming in from a hot and sunny Cunnet. Not sure where that is. But hot and sunny down there. Massive thunderstorm in Los Alcazares last night, says Ben. So it has been raining. Diffie saying the problem with salt water is that it's corrosive and cannot be used for the breakdown of waste, hence the reason why it is not used for sewerage. There we go. That's the explanation. Sometimes these things, when they're simple, maybe not so simple, given the quality of the water. But of course, if you took that seawater and put it into one of those desalination plants, maybe you could use that water for that purpose, not sure. I think there are desalination plants around Spain, just a question of getting them up and running again, I think. Let's have a look, just going through. Dees also drinks bottled water. The water tastes bad in Oliva. It's very hard, so filters would have to be replaced too often, so bottled water is the way to go. That was my experience in Malaga. The times that I was there, bottled water. Other person asking the question here, how would you get the seawater into the toilet? Completely separate infrastructure system would be required. So then not as easy as the previous commenter thought. What's going on here? Let's have a look here quickly. Let's see if I can find something. We're up to 43, so I'm going to cut it short in 2 minutes' time. Showman Bailey's coming in. Bronny from South Wales, 16 degrees there in Swansea. Hi, Bronny. Hope all is well. The quality of the water, another quality. Apparently the smell of chemicals. It's obviously the way that it's being treated. Catherine, missing Spain after 2 weeks travelling there as a tourist. No problem to be asked to keep the shower short, but so far I haven't seen any signs in the bathrooms. It would be a good idea. Yeah, I don't think the signs have gone up yet. As we go further into drought, signs will start to appear to keep showers short, to turn off taps if you're not using them. All of the typical water, use water wisely signs, all of those things. I'm sure as the year progresses, we'll see more of that. I think in Andalusia, some people have already been told that they can't fill up their pools this year, I think, in some parts of Andalusia. So the warnings are starting to come. Lucy coming in from Ottawa. Rainy there for the whole week. Dee's got a question. Does anyone know of any one-bedroom rentals on the Canaries? Long-term, my dog makes it harder to find. So any information for D, please add it to the chat or comment section. Long-term rentals in the Canaries. Alfredo doesn't like giving a fixed percentage tip. I think it should be up to the bar owner to ensure their employees get decent salaries. It's always the debate, isn't it, Alfredo? Do customers tip or do employers pay their employees more? Always the tip. Always the question, sorry. Now, I'm at the end of the chat. So, one here from Colin. Great vlog. Thanks, Colin, for that. J-Ops coming in from Wisconsin, there in the States. Typical spring weather. And Sean, when is the next video? Don't know, Sean. Next live is going to be on Wednesday. Another video before then? Not sure. I'll see what my plan is for tomorrow. Might have a busy day. I'll just check my schedule here. Yeah, it might be a bit difficult tomorrow. So Wednesday for another live stream. And Peter adding one more chat comment here. I usually tip just a few euro. The exception is I had my car washed and detailed at El Corte Inglés. The bill was 120. I tried to tip the kid 20 euros and he balked. He ended up accepting 5. 120 to get your car washed and detailed seems a bit expensive. I don't think I've ever paid any more than 35. I don't know what type of car you're driving there, Pete, but I think I paid 35 to have my Subaru detailed last year. Pretty good job too. And it was, I also got the one of the headlights. It was a bit foggy, the plastic, it was a bit difficult to see out of. So in order to pass the ITV, I had to get that cleaned as well. And I think it came to 50 all up, 55 all up, I think, with that included. But the actual wash and detail was around 35. So 120 seems expensive, but I've never gone to El Corte Inglés. Didn't even know they offered that service, to be honest. Thank you very much for watching today. Live stream has come to an end. Great participation as always in the chat section. Thanks for that. Thank you very much, Philip, for the super chat that I had before. Greatly appreciated too. I'll see everyone again on Wednesday for another live stream. Maybe a video tomorrow. Can't guarantee it, but there'll be videos Thursday, Friday, and possibly Saturday this week. So I'm going to get out and about and do some recording. So stay tuned for that. I'll see you guys again on Wednesday at the next live stream. Hasta entonces, hasta luego, adiós.